clickety clack, along main lines, rickety track.
She whispers softly in my ear,
just to say your last name.
Just find a place to make the sense to get easy.
that's just the way it is. Sit down, see when things could only get better.
Yet the same in so many ways.
I no recollection of the last time I came here.
But if we get much closer, I could lose control. And if your heart surrenders, you'll need me to hold.
I wouldn't be myself without you. Take a piece, take a picture of me. I don't care what happens, see, 'cause I know I'm happy.
Hello everyone, and welcome once again to Can Do Arts for Sustainable Development's Open Mic for Open Minds. My name is Brian Reid, and this is coming to you in association with the Revo Lounge, and this is episode edition 87. You may notice that I seem to be in like sort of slightly new salubrious surroundings. That's just because this is my good lady's charabanc, not mine. All right, and if you're thinking, I wonder what that is up there, yes, it's a miniature baseball bat. Okay, so here we are. It's oh my goodness, we're in the end part of November, which means that the whole Christmas shenanigans thing is going to come into hard play very shortly. I don't know, I'm really not feeling it, quite frankly. Okay, but hey, you know, I'm sure that I will garner some cheer as I move towards it. But there's just far too much really stressful stuff going on at the moment, which is, you know, just a little bit discombobulating for all of us, really. We've seen over the last few days that the energy crisis situation with gas supply in this country has just gone up. Another level. Bulb has just gone into administration or into protected circumstances. It's got 1.7 million customers, and everybody talks about what we're going to do, how we're going to do it. The problem is that we've already done it, okay? And that is deregulated the gas market. Remember Sid? Oh, a long time ago. Only for you remembers of Thatcher. Remember Sid? British Gas, breakup, all those things. Sold off the utilities, made a few quid, and then created business markets which are, instead of being funded independently by businesses which actually have experience in this area, we've got a model where a lot of these gas companies that have been going bust, they've been buying on the spot market. They've been buying against futures. They've been using customers' money to get the stuff that they want, and they're all going belly up, for want of a better word, and everybody's wondering what's going to happen. I'll tell you what's going to happen. We're all going to end up paying for it, okay? Because we always end up paying for it. And that is like a sad reality that we just have to deal with. The only people that don't have to pay for it are the people, okay, who caused it, because they're multi-millionaires, okay? And of course they pay for it, but they can afford to. No, I'm very exercised by the fact that I noticed I can't possibly ignore Boris Johnson like sort of strange Peppa Pig incident yesterday, I think it was, where he basically went to do a speech in front of the members of the CBI, which is the Confederation of British Industry, full of the kind of movers and shakers and capitalist sort of influence makers and participants who are very important for the ruling establishment and for the power makers and the guys who want favour. And you've got to remember that it doesn't matter what you and I think about Boris, okay, because we get to vote on him once every 5 years, okay, and by that time we've forgotten all the rubbish, well, 90% of it that he's come out with, because that's what it is. But these people, they are very serious about the prospects, about the whole thing, about how they see the economy's going, about the confidence, about the maintenance of an essential and effective capitalist system. And when I say capitalist system, a vehicle for them to make money. And that's really their bottom line, okay? So when he goes in front of a group of people like that and babbles like some kind of boy interrupted, who's really, I think for the first time yesterday, and I felt this a few times, but I think for the first time yesterday, I looked at Boris Johnson talking about his stuff, and I thought, well, your haircut is a perfect metaphor for what's going on inside your head. Okay, so like what's coming out of his mouth resembles what's coming out of the top of his head. All right, and sadly, Boris is one of these people who is a lovely, sociable, hail fellow, well met, okay, with an eye for the ladies, okay, although he's suffering a bit of buyer's remorse at the moment about his wedding. Trust me, he actually said that. He's been married a year yet. He hadn't even, of course, he didn't have to pay for the honeymoon. Someone else paid for it. I was going to say he's still paying the honeymoon off, but of course he's not. But it was incredible. And I think, Boris is like sort of, he's finally starting to realise one of the reasons they call being Prime Minister of Great Britain and Northern Ireland being climbing the greasy pole is that, like a greasy pole, funnily enough, it's tough enough getting up it. But once you get up it, try staying there, okay? Gravity is a terrible thing when you're on a greasy pole. And I feel like Boris is like sort of in a situation now where he's on the ice and he's skating and he's started to speed up and he's lost control of his legs, and now he's scrambling desperately to not face plant into the hard, cold rock face of his ambitions. So it's quite possible that once he starts like sort of worrying these people and all the opinion makers in the 1922 and the backbenchers, and we're all like, they don't give a damn about Boris. They're worried about what happens the next time they go to the polls. Okay, they're hoping that the red wave will remain in place when they took all those Labour constituencies. I'd call it a blue wave actually. But the thing is, there's only a certain point where you can continue this garbage before confidence reaches a level where the bottom falls out of the market. I don't know, I forget who said it, like a week is a long time in politics. Well, right now we're sort of getting down to the sort of like microseconds, 10 seconds of inane garbling because you've lost your notes, or you're trying to make a point that nobody cares about. I mean, we know about British innovation, we know about Peppa Pig, how wonderful it is and all the rest of it, and we also know that he's got young children, so of course, why wouldn't he know about Peppa Pig? All right. But the point is, surely, is what was he trying to say to us? That we've got so much innovation that we can do, we've always got a chance and what have you. It's that kind of clouded, woolly, unfocused thinking, which just means that the plan is not a plan. The plan is a loose collection of bright ideas that are cobbled together by people with better language skills than I, and don't actually make a lot of difference to people's lives. And so, you know, Boris is great on a soundbite. He's great, you know, sort of summoning the Churchillian spirit that he so likes to inherit, or believes he does. You know, I think I once described him as the illegitimate child of Thatcher and Churchill. All right, but to be perfectly honest with you, I feel sorry for that child, and I almost feel sorry for Boris. And sadly, okay, you know, we got a responsibility to hold the feet of our rulers to the fire, all right, and to ask the tough questions and to expect answers that are, you know, are somewhat legible, somewhat connected, and so, you know, that's my biggest issue. Is it's like there's just so much garbage being spoken by this man who's supposed to be in charge. All right, everybody's starting to get the shudders and the shakes about it, and we're thinking like, this is unsustainable. The centre cannot hold. Okay, so we shall see. But you know, I'm not into making political predictions. Okay, but the truth is that all political careers come to an end at some point, and that I think Boris is approaching a point where he has to make a change. He has to make some changes, or the changes will be made for him. And once you've lost control of the narrative, then you really are lost. So we'll see. We shall see how that plays out. But the most important thing, and the reason I'm here, is because this is open mic, and you know, here we are. This number 87. I'm so happy and pleased to be involved with you guys, and I'm absolutely stoked about the fact that as I mentioned briefly last week, the Open Mic for Open Minds live version from the Revo Lounge is returning. It's in the diary. The date is Wednesday, December the 22nd. And the reason I said I was unavailable for that last week was because I was told the 22nd, but I wasn't told it was December. Okay, so I naturally assumed it was November, which I knew I wouldn't be available for. But I will be available for the 22nd of December, and I'm so looking forward to getting out at the Revo Lounge in front of a packed room with loads of people and musicians and, you know, sort of youngsters and like sort of just because the two that we had, they spoilt us. We had such a great time. They had such a great time. There was so many people there. It was really busy. I mean, it was a different world because nobody'd heard, well, maybe people had just started talking about COVID back in January 2020. All right, and we had no idea what it was going to do to our lives and the impact it was going to have on us. All right, but we are coming back, and we know that there are sort of worries about sort of lockdowns before Christmas, but we're going to have to go with the flow. All right, you've got to make plans and see what happens. But I think you know, I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be fantastic. And you, of course, will be most welcome to join us, as you are now, as I welcome all of those amazing open micers who've been doing what they do for us so beautifully. So let's take it away, people. Thank you very much.
Sunday morning brings the dawn in. It's just a restless feeling by my side. Early dawning, Sunday morning. It's just a wasted
a band from Hull, and they're called The Howl and the Hum, and this is called The Only Boy Racer on the Island. When I was young, I said this town would live in my dust. My father said, my boy, this life's not for the likes of us. But the boys on the streets, in the fast cars, they kept turning heads. I said, boy, those are real men, Dad. One day I'll be one of them. The only boy racer left on the island. The only boy racer left on the island. They say you could hear the engine from the mainland. Way back when I was 10, saw my high street spearing round the bend. But those engines got sold when the speed freaks settled down in the south. I guess masculinity is the pursuit left to the embers of youth. The only boy racer left on the island. The only boy racer left on the island, whose only joy was holding on with the vines and leaves all gathering on. The only boy racer left on the island. No man gets left behind. No man gets left behind. Thank you.
Authority stamping us down with austerity, making us feel like there's no other way to be, constantly giving us lies of prosperity. No longer silent, we will rise from this tragedy. Some say that there's nothing we can do but look out your windows and turn off the news. We're taken to the streets and we're no doubt meeting police state with their batons and shields. They try to crush this feeling, this freedom. We realise our reasons to fight. Let us sing our songs of freedom to remind us of our reasons. Let us sing our songs of freedom, remind us of our reasons. So we rose, we joined, we fought, we dreamed. We smashed the fortress of power, it seemed like victory. Like people had power as glass shattered down around Millbank Tower. Then crackdown, prison and tears all around. We found few friends, many turned against us. Those who marched by our side, so quick to condemn us. Conquer, by dividing and infighting. Well rehearsed and practiced by the powerful. It's frightening how quickly the media condemned, how quickly our friends followed. It became us and them. We may disagree, consider it violent to smash property like criminals, like folks best in prison, while government policy at home and abroad is murderous, racist, sexist and more, with cuts to benefits, dismantled NHS. Who are the criminals? Is it them or us? Who are the criminals? Cuts to rape, crisis centres, cuts to libraries, youth centres, cuts to DLA and EMA. Rising tuition fees, countries on its knees. Rising profits for the rich, ask me. It's a stitch up, people down, super rich are running round like our lives is their playgrounds. Is their playgrounds. So we're gonna organise through the hard times, take a breath through the righteous and raw times, give it up for the masses and down for the cause. We're in this together, we're not looking for applause. So organise through the fast and the slow times, harsh and the low times, and remember that patience is a powerful remedy. Persevere through the hard times steadily. Step back from confused times, step in, cause who knows what we'll find. Organise through the fraught times, togetherness through last resort times. Organise through fast times, reflect as we fly by, listen at all times, and join us as we rise. And join us as we rise.
Okay, so if you're here, that means the open mic has come to an end for another week. I hope you've enjoyed the artist that we've showed, that you've submitted for us this week. And it only leaves for me to say, check out the Can Do Facebook page, because there's so much going on at the moment. Okay, there's lots of stuff happening, sort of coming up, sort of December time, for charity and for certain causes and whatever, which we'll expand on greater as we get closer to them. And check out the Shop podcast. Okay, there's a wonderful piece on there, the artist in resident, I think his name's Steve. Yeah, Steve. And we're just really looking forward to catching up with you guys actually in person, you know, COVID permitting, of course. So until then, if you would like to contribute to the open mic in any way whatsoever, artistically, then you can do so by sending your submissions to openmic@cando-arts.com, and that should be there. And we will be happy to add you to our diversity. And in the meantime, take care of yourselves. All right, keep looking after each other. Keep caring for each other. All right, and let's have a chat with my mate Ed. See you again.
The old school with the old fools, they never ever been cool, watching the planet burn while they try to learn computer skills and all those thrills. The good thing is they won't be around much longer. They're so old, hearts growing cold, but the new day for you, yeah, the new things to do. Try and be honest, won't you? If you can, if you can, if you can. Well, charity begins at home. At least that's what they say. But what if you haven't got shelter? Not tonight or tomorrow or today. Where does your charity come from? When people keep you from all the warmth and love, the warmth and love and
try to be paragons of virtue, but there are really not so good. Then maybe the new day will be a surprise. Maybe the new day they'll realize they were wrong. No one likes to be wrong, do they? Do they? Anyway, thank you all so much for contributions. Thank you all so much for all the support that we're getting, particularly with the Reclaim Our Town scenario. Really appreciate that. And that's an ongoing thing, obviously, and will unfold as it needs to.